Dana, to your left, right here.
Yep.
You know, obviously, I understand you feel comfortable with everything that has happened. You feel comfortable with Jones' test. You feel comfortable with moving the fight. But I just wonder if at any time during the conversations about moving this, you talked about what's kind of going on right now, and that there would be so much talk about steroids and banned substances and metabolites before a fight, a rematch that we all think is one of the best fights of all time. Did that ever come into the equation of like, well, we don't want that to be the conversation before a fight like this?
It's going to happen. It is what it is. You know, if we did this fight in March, it'd be the same. We'd be talking about the same things. And listen, Jon Jones has made some mistakes in his life. You know, every time this guy fights, there's going to be questions on whether Jon's going to. Well, what's Jon going to do? How's Jon going to test? What's going to happen? It's always that's going to follow Jon. Jon needs to go in, win on Saturday night. Continue to stay straight and narrow and keep winning and cement his legacy. It's just, if he does that, the talk will go away.
And Jon, I guess a little, were you going to say something?
What was that? No, do you have another question?
Yeah. Okay. For Jon. I've heard you talk about this rematch with Gustafsson, and you've said that some people thought you lost the first fight, and that's something that you wanted to correct. You wanted to prove to everybody that you were better than this guy. Do you feel like you still have the opportunity to really prove that with the circumstances as they are?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Winning this fight convincingly, finishing this fight, absolutely. There'll always be asterisks. There's asterisks next to who's pound for pound the greatest of all time. That So, in my mind, there is no asterisk. I was afraid of there being an asterisk next to my career when I was uneducated. But as I'm learning, even though I still can't say picogram or picogram, whatever, as I'm learning what this really is, I'm actually almost mad that it was even mentioned. I mean, it's invisible. You can't take a picogram. It's that small. You can't knowingly take it. That's how small it is. No, guys, joking. You guys are crazy. So I have completely set myself free from any type of. I listen to fighters from the past be like, oh, this is why he beat me, because he had this in him, and I get why they need to do that, to feel better, to feel like I can do it the second time. I get why they're doing that. But I've taken off the asterisks next to what I've done. I know what I've done, dude. Every push-up, every sit-up, freaking showing up to practice early, leaving there late, dude. Wrestling camp since I was 12 years old, freaking endless tournaments. I know what I've done. And so after beating Gustafsson, I'm gonna be right back on the track that I've always been on, which is being one of the all-time greats. And I know that in my heart, no matter who believes me or not.
One more for you, Jon. Just one last one. I've heard you say that you're angry that this test came out, that you don't think it should have came out because it's such a small substance, and USADA is not treating this as a failed drug test. Do you feel like, are you going to do anything about, are you going to complain to them? Is there any kind of recourse that you can take about, should this information have even come out in the first place?
Well, no, and that's another thing. People are like, oh, Jon must be paying off USADA, which is impossible. If Lance Armstrong can't afford to pay off USADA, you think I can? It's like, no, it just doesn't happen. USADA's been around for so long. They're so credible. But I get it's me, so people like to come up with crazy stuff, and just like when I first came out, people were like, oh, his arms are long, that's why he wins. There's always going to be something. What's your question again? Because I'm ranting.
Well, just that, is there any kind of recourse, any kind of conversation you can have with USADA about why
I'm not going to come at you. There's nothing I can come at USADA about it. The fact is, I'm man enough to say there is something in my system that is microscopic, that is so small, that does not help me do shit. There we go. A soul. I like that. And there's no reason to come at USADA about this. What I am is a guinea pig for our sport. What I'm finding out is that this shit is happening all across sports. There's so many athletes right now that has the M3 metabolite in their body, and it's coming in pulses and it's coming in waves. But my situation is the most public. But the reason why I'm here today being able to fight is because it gives me no advantage. Science is getting so good that they're finding shit. I guarantee you there's many people in the audience that has shit that's on the ban list that's never done any type of steroid, that wouldn't even know what this shit is. So the fact of the matter is, there is something in my bloodstream. It does not give me any advantage, and I'm grateful that USADA found it, because I'll be able to educate myself and know more about it. And for fighters in the future, it's going to help out a lot of people. I think the science is just so strong. They're finding shit that you know, it's like, it's hard to explain. But I know for a fact that this is going to help fighters of the future in our sport, and no one said it should be easy being who I am. I accept the difficulty in it, and I'm up for the challenge. And like I said, through science, I feel like I'll be vindicated. So no worries. This is all going to be a blessing in disguise for me.